Rolling, speed, marker, and action.
I'm Sean Inman. Been coming to church here for about 2 years now. I've been married 12 years. We've come a long way over the last 12 years. I was born with a medical condition. I had transposition of the great vessels. My blood and oxygen in my heart were backwards from the normal, typical heart. Growing up, I didn't get to do some of the same things that normal kids get to do, like play football. So I leaned more towards art. My mom passed away when I was 19. She got diagnosed with adrenal cancer when I was 17. I remember I got a call on my phone. I was in my first year of college. My dad said that your mom's not going to make it and that I need to come home. And so I left the school very abruptly, and I'm surprised I didn't get a ticket on the way home. All I could think about was I got to get home so I can tell my mom goodbye and that I love her for the last time. She stayed until I got there. I grabbed her hand and I leaned over and I said, "I love you, Mom." And I gave her a kiss and she was gone. Even though people were telling me she's in heaven, it's okay. To me, at that point in my life, I lost my mom, the one person that was always there, from the time I was born. I kept going to church for the next couple years. I was still active in the church. I was still serving. About that time I was turning 21, and then just the things of life kind of stepped in. I kind of slipped into the 21-year-old crazy, I know it all, partying, drinking. That was kind of my go-to thing, to kind of slip away and forget about everything. I didn't really take care of my body, my heart. I quit going to the doctor on a regular basis. Looking back, that wasn't some of the best decisions I've made in my life. But those are learning moments that I learned a great deal of things about myself as life lessons. I met my wife whenever I was 25, and wasn't very long after that we got married. And during that whole time, we had our ups and downs. We were both have our faults. Me and my drinking probably didn't help her any. That kind of took a toll on her and made her into a different person than what she wanted to be. That's really what turned her on to coming to church, and she was invited to this women's retreat where she joined the women of the church and got to know them and got to open up. She got involved with the small group, and the small group is fabulous. She would come home on Mondays. She would be just nothing but want to talk about what they studied at small group and all the conversations and interactions that they got to have. Haley, she's very persistent. She's not going to give up on something that she wants, and she never gave up on inviting me to church. We would drive by Southwest to take our nieces home, and she would be like, "Look, there's the church. Why don't you just come with us on Sunday, and then I don't have to drive all the way home?" And I'm like, "Well, it's really not my thing. I've done the church thing. It's just really not for me anymore." She just never stopped asking, and so I started having some issues with my health. I got diagnosed with diabetes type 2. So then I really started being more health conscious. Started exercising. I started walking around the neighborhood a couple miles a day. She started walking with me, and she'd be talking to me about church, about small group. When am I going to come? So we did this for a while, for a couple months, and she kept on. And I would come to church on certain days, for holidays, etc. So our anniversary was coming up, and I asked her what she wanted for our wedding anniversary, and she said, "There's a marriage retreat at the church." I said, I figured it would be something like that. I came to this marriage retreat, and I really liked what I heard. It resonated with me, and it showed me that there were some things I needed to change in my life, not just with my marriage, but with my spiritual walk with God. So after coming for about 6 or 8 months, I really felt God pulling at my heart, really trying to communicate with me. It wasn't very long after that Haley and I were walking around the neighborhood again, and we were talking about church and everything, and I had said I want to rededicate my life to Christ. She just started crying, and I was like, "I don't want you to cry." She goes, "No, but this is everything I've ever dreamed of." we kept walking. I didn't know if we were going to make it all the way back around without, we might have to call to get some help. It was that next Sunday that I rededicated my life to Christ. And I thank you, Southwest, for being there for me. So I have two little nieces, Sai and Sage. They're awesome in their own little ways. They're very unique, very different than each other. Saya, she's 7 years old. She's like a firecracker. Once you light it, she's just got a big old pop. She's always got something to ask you. She might even have an answer for you. She's very loving, very sweet, very sweet. Sage, she's 4 years old. Sage is deaf, but she is still very smart. She has her own little sign language library. It took us a while to learn the different signs and what they mean, but Haley and I are doing pretty good with that now. She loves to laugh, and once you get her laughing, she's hard to stop. She can be in her own little world and still have as much fun as if she was playing with her sister or with other friends. She's really great. So about 6 months ago, Sai and Sage came to live with us, and they have a little bit different situation than typical 7-year-old, 4-year-old. While they love their kids, their parents have struggles, and they're trying to deal with those right now. And so to help them out, we're watching Sai and Sage on a more full-time basis. When Haley and I got married, we already decided we weren't gonna have kids. I helped raise her daughter, who's 24 now, and I think a lot of why Haley and I had that decision in our mind of not having kids together was we were being prepared for this moment in our life to help take care of these two kids that need structure and need love. They need love more than anything. My hope for Sai and Sage is that they get to come to church on Sundays, that they'll be surrounded by children of God. Saya, she loves Fridays at school because it's Good News Friday. And while she struggles academically in school, she excels when it comes to God and the Bible. And it's all because of what she's been taught at Southwest Christian Church. Sage, she loves coming here because she gets to see other kids that she doesn't get to see all the time. It's that interaction. And while she can't hear, she sees things and she still feels and understands emotion. And so we still want her to be around children of God that portray that. I really didn't understand the importance of kids in church until I started raising these two kids. And seeing them interact at Southwest and the church family interacting with them and loving them almost like they're their own kids. They truly love these kids, and you can see it in their hearts and their eyes and just their overall actions. That's something that the kids need. It's our responsibility to ensure that these kids know who God is, and that it's our responsibility to provide them the best learning material, the best facilities that we can as a church. For them to be successful in life, I know that they have to have God in their life and in their heart. That's really what I want for them, is for them to know that God's always going to have their back in every situation.